Hello, 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 welcome back to Hunter Tuned. What are we doing today? What are we doing? Well, I got a chalkboard. This is a chalkboard, and this is some chalk. So, thank you to everybody that watched the last video. I already got a bunch of really good comments on there, and a couple people, they were saying, write down the things that you need to do, and you might be able to stay on track a little bit easier and not get as scatterbrained or whatever. And that is actually a very good idea. So I am going to just dedicate, my start of my day, and I'm going to come out here, try to at least from now on, and I'm going to write down the things that I need to do. And as the day goes on, I can kind of cross them off, see what we got done that day, etc., etc., etc. Valve cover gaskets. This chalk sucks, but it'll do the job. Valve cover gask, good enough. So we're gonna do that. Then we need to figure out what's wrong with the transmission in the car. So we're going to look at the trans, and then after we look at the trans and the valve cover, we're gonna just kind of drive the car and see if everything's good on the Fairmont. And then after that, I'm going to pull the car out, and we're going to clean up the garage a little bit, maybe. Clean. After that, there is a track day today, and I would like to go to the track, but the sky is looking a little bit gray, and they said it was supposed to rain today and tomorrow. Hasn't really rained a whole lot yet, but it's probably going to rain, so I'm thinking we're not going to be going to the track, but it's a possibility. It is a possibility that we might go to the track tonight. It's a possibility that we might not go to the track, so we'll just put on here track question mark, because track could be a possibility. And then I have the bike. I wanted to wire a tether on the bike, so if we do go to the track, I'm taking the bike. And before we go to the track, we're gonna need to get a bunch of like boots, and I'm gonna have to find my boots and the gloves and my jacket and all that kind of stuff. And we'd probably have to wire in the tether, which is 2 wires that you have to wire into the ignition. It probably won't even happen. So I'm just gonna like track question mark. Yeah, it won't happen. Oh, I have to ship some injectors. I have one order here that is ready to be shipped, so I just need to run to the post office and ship order. My handwriting sucks. Ship order. So I need to ship my injector order that I have on deck. That's literally sitting in a package ready to go. I just have to ship them. And then what else? What else are we doing today? What else are we doing? I know there's more to do than that. Alright, so that's kind of the list we're going to start with for now. We're going to see where this takes us, what time it is by the time we're done. And I do have another remote tune that I need to do today. The guy said he wanted to get a hold of me this morning. I was eating lunch with my girlfriend and stuff, so I said maybe a little later we can do the remote tune, so maybe that we can add to the list. But I think that's it for now. So yeah, we'll see. We'll get this stuff done, and then once this stuff is done, we will pick back up and see what else we can do. Okay guys, so we are doing the valve cover gaskets and throwing the valve covers back on this thing. I already got the passenger side one installed. Now I'm working on the driver's side. And I just kind of cleaned off the surface where the gasket's gonna go. Took the gasket off, and then I just laid a very thin layer of RTV around the valve cover there. And then we're going to be putting on the new valve cover gasket. It also has a indicator where it says cover side, so this is going to be the valve cover side. So that's going to sit on there, something like that. Something like that. And just going to throw another thin layer on this side of the gasket, and then I'm going to throw it onto the car. The only reason I put like a thin layer RTV on is just because, I don't know, if there's like imperfections in the metal, or like the valve cover's warped a little bit or something like that, the RTV will kind of soak that up. And I do it on Hondas all the time, where I, RTV, then the gasket, then more RTV. So RTV on both sides of the gasket. It's just, it helps seal you know, imperfections in metals and stuff like that. And this thing being, you know, from the 70s, you know, I'm sure shit, it didn't stay flat for this long. Cheech and Chong, bro, she's a smoker. So yeah, I just put new valve cover gaskets in this thing, and this side is still leaking, as you can see, pretty bad, and bad enough to be leaking onto the exhaust manifold. So I diagnosed the problem. It's not the gaskets that are leaking, it's freaking leaking out of the bolt holes. So I just kind of threw some RTV around the bolts on the bottom ones or whatever, because this side was leaking too. So I took all three of the bolts out of the bottom of each side and I RTV'd them. And this side appears to not be leaking. So this side seems okay. This side, no. Every frickin' bolt is leaking. Super annoying. Yeah, so that's really annoying. Yeah, annoying. Super gay. Junk. Don't buy a frickin' old junk motor. They're junk. I'm just kidding. So I'm gonna have to pull those bolts back out again and see what I can come up with. Maybe I'll put an O-ring on the end of it or something so I can get it to quit leaking. Like I said, it's only leaking out of the bolt holes. So yeah, I'm gonna take these bolts back out, see what I can do to try to seal this thing up. So yeah, it is downpouring, and yeah, I don't think the track is going to be open today. Sucks. Oh well. I did just take the Fairmont out for a quick cruise, and notice that the transmission is still not hitting third gear. I added another quart of fluid, but like I said, still not hitting third gear. It is also still slipping in first gear. So I'm thinking maybe it still needs a little bit more fluid. Every time I check it, it seems like it's really hard to read the line on the transmission dipstick. So I'm gonna check it again in a minute, but I have to fix this valve cover leak. I have all the other bolt holes sealed up good, but this front bolt on the driver's side valve cover just continues to leak. So yeah, that sucks. Other than that, the car squeals the tires, and it's running decent, but gotta fix that freaking oil leak, and I gotta figure out this transmission and why it's not shifting into third gear. I'm really hoping it's just low on fluid. I could be wrong, I could be right, I don't know. But a guy I bought it from said this transmission was just gone through, which could be just as bad as a used bad transmission, because who knows if the guy put it together right or whatever. But yeah, so we're going to, I'm gonna pull that bolt out again, and I'm gonna see if I can find like a, almost like try to make a gasket for underneath the bolt. and maybe put another O-ring and then some more RTV or something and just try to seal it as best as I can. Because yeah, like I said, that's the only one I still got leaking on the valve cover. So I'm gonna try to sort that out and let you guys know what I figure out. No more leaky bolt hole. I added a quart of transmission fluid, and we're gonna go try her out. Smoke when I really get into it, like, you know, let it sing. Okay guys, so I ended up driving the car like I said. Car seems to be running really good. It's got some power to it. It seems like the motor is like healthy and whatnot, but there's oil spraying all over this frickin' thing because this, I really tried to goop this fucking hole right here and it's still leaking. So that bolt hole right there, there's actually a crack in the valve cover. So that sucks. Probably just gonna end up taking these valve covers off and I'm gonna put stock ones on because the guy I bought the car from has the old valve covers still, and I just hit him up and he said that he's got them. So like I said, I think I'm just gonna take these valve covers off and then put stock ones back on with these new gaskets. Hopefully they're not like stretched or anything, and we'll go from there. And I have a transmission oil leak still. I don't know where the hell that's coming from. The tranny's still shifting a little weird, but it did hit first, second, third. Just took some playing with the throttle and the shifter to get it to shift, and then it would shift. But I'm gonna focus on one thing at a time, and we're gonna really try to get this frickin' oil leak figured out on the car, and then we can move on from there. But I've had a bunch of stuff come up throughout the day already, and now I actually have to go help a guy out. He's got a Honda with an idle problem, so I'm gonna go over there and help him out quick. He can't get the car to idle properly, so I'm just gonna run over there, try to get that sorted out, and maybe I'll film some of it, maybe I won't. Yeah, then we'll pick up from there.
Y'all ever crashed a moped?
Nope.
Yes. Hey, you have an eraser.
My finger is the best eraser, Christian.
Okay, Hunter Tune.
Oh, here's an eraser. And then for transmission, we're gonna say or that works too. So I got the Fairmont going good. Everything, I actually had to swap out these valve covers because I was messing all day with trying to get the valve covers to stop leaking. And turns out that this valve cover, the one bolt hole I could not get to seal, actually had a crack on the valve cover itself. So I ended up swapping them out for a set of stock valve covers, and now the valve covers are not leaking whatsoever. So the Fairmont is mint. Oh yeah, look at that crack. Look at that crack. Somebody over torqued it. But now we got the garage cleaned up, and I have another car we're working on. Fairmont seems like it's good, like I said, but the transmission is still leaking, and the transmission is still having issues with shifting. It does have all forward gears and reverse. It has first, second, and third, but it doesn't shift into like second or third unless you're like high in the RPM. So I think something with the vacuum modulator or something is up with that, because like I said, it doesn't shift until like really high up in the RPM, like where it would wide open. But it does shift all the gears, so that's a plus. But yeah. Anyways, we're gonna give you a quick sneak peek of tomorrow's video, and then we're gonna end this one off, and we'll pick up again tomorrow. But we got a orange DC2 Integra, I think, with a Type R front, and this car is super clean that we are working on. This car has actually been on the channel before. If you guys haven't seen it, I don't know what the video was called, but this car has been on the channel before. And this one just got a new engine. It has a CSS block, GSR block, and we're doing a whole different turbo kit and shit on it. So we'll pick back up when it's in the garage. Are you recording?
What's up, bitches?
What's up? What you doing?
Making lists.
Making lists. So we started this video off with making a list of what we're going to do. Now we have this Integra in here. This is, like I said, a CSS GSR, brand new motor, hasn't been ran yet. Whole new turbo kit, whole new setup, injectors, new fuel pump, and the guy put the motor in it, and he kind of sketched me out because he's like, I didn't torque the flywheel bolts, and I'm like, what? He's like, it's good. He's like, I did it the last time like this, and it's good. And I'm like, okay, guy, whatever. I'm really hoping that it's gonna be okay. But we got a situation back here by the fuel pump too, because he did a number on the fuel feed line. It's completely broken. Like, we can't reuse the stock feed line. It's just tacoed. So that sucks. Anyways, this car has a bunch of really good parts. We got some dash 10 here for the oil catch can that we got to do. We got to run the lines from the catch can. We got to do battery relocate to the trunk. We got to rewire all that. We got boost by gear components. We got twin wastegate set up. Turbonetics 62 millimeter turbo. Boost solenoid. Boost components for the ECU. Grounds. Battery at the trunk. Brake booster at the intake is broken. Let's see this. Let's see this. That's not supposed to come out of the intake.
Nah, that's good.
It's not supposed to come out of the intake.
Wrong.
What else we got? IACV wiring. We got injectors that are totally cut off here.
Feeder hose.
We got, let's see here. Oh yeah, here's the idle air control valve wiring down there. You can see two bare wires. Got to wire something there. We got
oil filter stud.
Oh yeah, it has no oil filter stud in the block. So we have to either extract one from another block, which we can do, or we have to use like a GSR oil filter cooler setup, because that's what this block was kind of set up for. We gotta plumb the turbo kit because the turbo kit, the wastegates actually hit the intercooler where the intercooler is mounted currently. So we gotta figure that out. Intercooler piping has to be totally redone. Has no exhaust. We have a flange, so we have to make exhaust and intercooler stuff. Whole bunch of stuff. And this guy's been really cool with me, and he's kind of a friend.
He's a good dude.
He's a good dude, but I don't know. This one's kind of overwhelming me for some reason. There's kind of a lot to do, and he's like leaving for the Air Force kind of soon, and wants to get it done kind of fast. So we got a lot of work to do on this one, but yeah, we will see what we can do. I'm gonna come out here with a clear mind in the morning and see what we can figure out with this car, knock out a few things, and once we get a few things done, we'll have a few less things to do one thing at a time. And yeah, we'll try to pound this car out, get it ripping. This is a CSS GSR block. This thing will take some boost. It'll take a lot of power. It's got a competition stage 5 clutch, so that's going to be our limitation. It's probably only going to make 500 wheel before the clutch slips, 400 to 500, something like that. So he'll have to upgrade the clutch at some point, but we're just going to get it running, tune it on, you know, as high as we can go with the clutch that's in it, and see where it ends up. But yeah. So anyways, hopefully you got a sneak peek of the new car that we're working on, and we'll pick up on that tomorrow. And hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Like, comment, subscribe.
Keep removing.
Keep removing. Fucking mint. See you later.